Welcome to Turn to Blues. I'm Tom Feldman.
I'm Doug Demuth.
In this show, Doug brings in a song that is not a blues song, and I do my best to turn it into a traditional blues song. So what is the song for today?
Well, I have a little story. It's how I came to this song. I started listening, I created like a playlist to listen to more blues. So I can like maybe identify more like as I'm trying to find new songs, what may have more of like a root.
Sure.
Blues root
So
like, connection.
You're listening to blues.
Yeah, so this has started
Has there
me.
been one that...
I just started, so
okay.
Don't get too crazy.
Don't get too excited.
Don't get too excited. In my playlist, a song came up that I really, really, really like. It Hurts Me Too.
Of course.
Which I love that song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I thought I read somewhere, and I could be totally wrong, but it's like one of the most reinterpreted blues songs.
It's certainly one of the most.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm like looking at all the versions, and my favorite, or the one I like, it's not, I'm going to say it's my favorite. It's tentatively my favorite because I'm listening to different versions, but I really like the Grateful Dead one, which for you probably might be annoyed by.
No, not at all. I mean, that's fair.
But the live, they have like the live in 1970. I can't remember what. I think it was London. That version of it is like, it's just.
Yeah. I don't know the Grateful Dead version. They're a great band.
Yeah. I don't want to get caught up on the Grateful Dead because they are not the band.
Oh, they're not the band.
No.
Okay. Well, we're gonna cut this out. Yeah, okay. If this is Fish, I'm gonna go crazy.
No. You'll no. So then another artist that did it was Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
On Self Portrait, I think it was. And I didn't like that as much. I think the oldest version I can find like on Spotify, there's probably some older ones like in like the National Archive or something like that. But the oldest one I could find was like from like the mid 20s.
Was it Tampa Red?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a really good version too. Like it's always like I always want to like it's probably impossible to find unless he that was his song.
Yeah. Everyone's done this song, and it's a hard song not to do well. I think is another reason why so many people do it.
Anyway, let's not get too caught up.
Oh no, we're
if you don't know the song "It Hurts Me Too," it's really good, and there are a billion versions out there.
So who is it? Who are we listening to?
It's a Bob Dylan song. So
it has nothing to do with "It Hurts Me Too."
It's a loose tie-in, okay? It's a stretch. It's a stretch. I'm just telling you about the journey.
I'm all in on any Bob Dylan song. So what's the name of the song?
"Girl from North Country."
Oh, of course. Best song ever.
If you're traveling in the North Country Fire, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine.
Are you aware of any blues versions that you've heard?
I'm trying to think if someone's done like a slide guitar version of it, which sort of kind of gets masked as like a blues version if you play slide guitar over it, which is probably what I'm going to do. Now that you bring it up. I'm just really curious for Kelly Joe Phelps fans out there. Did he ever do a version of this? Because if he didn't, it's a shame he didn't, because he would have just done an amazing slide version of this. But no, I don't know of any like mainstream, quote unquote, mainstream like blues version that anyone's done. So anyway, let's keep listening.
If you go when the snowflakes storm, when the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see she has a coat so warm to keep her from the howling winds.
These early recordings to me are so straight up my alley, because for me, as a listener, there's something about one person and their guitar and singing that to me is why I wanted to get into doing music in the first place. That sold me right away. I was like, that's what I want to do. harmonica is my least favorite instrument.
Yeah.
Because of where it sits in the register. It hurts my ears. Love Bob Dylan because he's not trying to be an amazing harmonica player. It's for effect.
So speaking on the effect of the harmonica and the way Bob Dylan plays it, I listen to a lot of music on walks, and you're like walking in a park or whatever in the summertime, and oftentimes in the summertime, like deep in the summertime, you'll start hearing cicadas and all that stuff, and that's what his harmonica reminds me of, like the sound of a cicada, that long kind of steady tone.
Yeah. You guys wouldn't know this, but so Doug is the one that did all the album covers for me from 2005 to 2010. Driven to My Knees, Sideshow Revival, Pedal Steel Heaven, Tin Roof Sky, Tribute. You did the Tribute one, right?
Yep.
Where I did all the blues ones?
Yeah.
So Tin Roof Sky. Do you remember the songs on there where we put all like the animal sounds? Like we did cicadas and we did. This is back in 2010, so this is a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while since.
But just you talking about that remembers like I remember standing in a field in the middle of the night because I didn't want to get traffic sounds on a dirt road trying to audio capture.
Yeah. I remember cicadas. You talking about that, yeah.
We are not going to do that for the blues version of this. I don't think.
I don't think you need to.
I don't need to. By the way, if you want to hear any of that music, go to tomfeldman.com or playcountryblues.com. All of those albums are available for download for free. So go listen to them.
Heck of a deal.
Heck of a deal.
All right. We'll continue
Keep going.
So if you're traveling the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine.
I remember listening to this when I was 20 years old. And the last verse is the repeat of the first verse. Was always like, oh, that's nice, because now I only have to fill in the middle part. I never recognized that as a formula before. And now that I know that it's a formula, now I'm just going to copy paste. I'm just going to steal that idea, and I'm going to fall way short of I'm going to fall way short on my efforts, but at least I have a blueprint. I have a blueprint to work with. I can think back to my second album that I did, Drunk Man's Dream, which was done in 2001, 99, 2000, 2001. And it was more of a singer-songwriter album. And it was just like blatantly me just stealing from this particular album. So I have strong ties to this. And I'm excited to see what I'm going to do, because I have, I'm not going to say, but I have two ways to go. I think it would be really cool as just like an up-tempo type thing is what I'm going to try first. And when that doesn't work out, I'll land on something
that'll be interesting, because when you listen to the song, it's kind of somber and everything, and like you don't think up-tempo.
Well, we're about to piss off a lot of Bob Dylan fans.
I think Bob Dylan pisses off a lot of Bob Dylan fans. I went to a Bob Dylan concert. I didn't recognize a single song. Even though I looked at, like, somebody had wrote down the playlist, or maybe the playlist was online, and I was like, oh my God, like those are all like a lot of my favorite songs, and I'm like, I didn't even recognize them.
I saw him, I want to say 4 or 5 times, but it was all like in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a lot of that, like, what song is he playing right now?
Right.
Hopefully he'll be around for a lot longer doing weird stuff.
He's getting up there.
He's getting super up there. Let's see. We love you, Bob. Yeah. All right, we're back. I fear that I'm going to wreck the song, but
I think we talked about this last episode. I'm pretty sure Bob Dylan has wrecked this song worse than you could ever have wrecked it.
So in the part 1, you mentioned It Hurts Me Too.
Yeah.
I asked you if you heard the Tampa Red version.
Right.
You said yes.
Yes.
And without you knowing, I've done quite a bit of lessons on Tampa Red. So I was like, well, what would he do if he took this song?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And the reason that I did that is because had Tampa Red still been like relevant when this song was recorded,
Yeah.
he would have done a version of this, because that's what all those blues guys did, is they played popular songs in their own way. So like all that old blues stuff that you listen to, a lot of it is them taking pop tunes and bluesifying them. And so I was like, well, what would he do if he played it? And the song, and it came together so stinking fast.
Yeah.
Like I had a version of it within like 5 minutes that I was like, maybe I've done something wrong here. Like, should it come together this fast?
I'm so glad that you worked Tampa Red and that It Hurts Me Too song into this, because now how I came to the song
makes
kind of makes sense. Because it didn't, as we talked about, but it made sense to me. So that's what matters.
Well, that's
amazing that you did that.
What Tampa Red does, and what his thing is I'm going to do a slide version. A lot of his songs are just him playing slide to the vocal melody line. And so I just took the vocal melody line of "Feel your child, no country friend, easy for me, when it's all she wants was true love." The winds hit heavy on the borderline. Here you go, snowflakes fall. Easy for me, she got a cold so warm it keeps her from the wind. When the rivers freeze and the summer wind. And it's just that.
It sounds good.
It's just that over and over again.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm going to do some different soloing type things and whatnot. I kept the lyrics exactly the same, but I had to kind of just like flip flop some of them so I could get the rhyming scheme right for this.
I'm going to need to like hear the performance, because it, just like when I went to the Bob Dylan concert, I had no idea. If you wouldn't have told me that that's like Girl from North Country, I would have had no idea.
Oh, for sure.
Which is kind of cool.
Yep.
But usually when I hear the whole song, then it's like, oh, okay, I see what he did.
Yep. Yeah. No, and I mean, that's the thing, is that, with this, I think kind of the idea to some degree is having a version that if I was playing it for you, you'd come up afterward and go like, was that song what it was?
Yeah.
And then I'd say, yeah, that's that, So that is kind of the intent. And, there was things that, like you had mentioned, his harmonica solos, that it reminded you of like cicadas and stuff. And so like with slide, I can kind of, it's not going to be the same thing, but just that the journey of the, and get different like frequencies that are similar to like his harmonica style, which is probably less cicada-like, but that was the influence for me.
A hard sound to replicate.
Yes.
On the guitar, right?
But I was taking your cues actually quite a bit on this one. So with the Tampa Red, with the cicadas, with those ideas, and then I was like, well, this is what it's going to be. Check out Tampa Red if you have not listened to his music before, and you may like it, you may not. His singing style is kind of one you either like or you don't, but his slide playing is remarkable and it's wonderful. And if you're interested in learning this style of music, fingerpicking slide, go to playcountryblues.com. There are a lot of lessons regarding this style there. And now I'm going to do the performance, and then you can watch it on YouTube like everybody else, and then you can let me know what you think of the performance after you see it. And till next time, take care. Snowflakes fall. Easy for me, she got a cold so warm, it keeps her from